Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
Are we live? Of course we're live. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. It's very appreciated, people, and I'm very appreciative of you lot tuned in across Twitch and YouTube. I appreciate you lot, man, on a serious note. Now, obviously, you know, as much as I love all the fans, whether you support Arsenal or not, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and in some cases, good night to my fellow Gooners, aka 3 points collectors. This week, normal service has resumed. You know, day in the life of an Arsenal fan. It was all doom and gloom when we lost our last 3 games prior to this week. And today it's been all right, innit? Obviously, I woke up with a spring in my step. I can't lie, after beating United, obviously off the back of beating Chelsea. First things first, it's fantastic that we've been able to claim 6 points this week because we're doom and gloom. West Ham next week. Obviously, West Ham have an extra. They've had one less day to prepare. They've got an extra game on Thursday. Hopefully, there's something that can happen. As usual, I hope everyone's doing well and safe physically, mentally, spiritually, and all of those things. I hope next week is filled with an abundance. Now, again, just quickly, and again, tomorrow, I'm going to go over it more in depth. We're going to do the tactical review and get really into the nuts and bolts of the game. But my first opinions on that game, big up you lot, people. My first opinions would be, it's nice to win. It's nice to win at home. It's, you know, you've got to be able to beat United if you want to get top 4, etc. Regardless of what you say about them, you've got to be able to get points off Chelsea regardless of their form. So to go to Stamford Bridge, you know, quick turnaround and put in a performance against United and get the job done, I'm happy with that. Now, if I move away from the euphoria, the excitement, the magnitude, you know, the caliber of the teams we're playing historically, if you don't necessarily think they're good, and I take all the emotion out. In terms of improvements, and even Granit Xhaka said, we're too naive as a football team. You know, again, I didn't expect a great performance either game defensively. I probably expected us to concede. You lot did as well. And obviously, we conceded 3 cheap goals against Crystal Palace, 2 cheap ones against Brighton, and a silly goal against Southampton. So in the previous 2 games, which we've won this week, that was always going to happen. So to get back to basics, I think we need to improve defensively. We need to show better game management and better maturity and street smartness, because, you know, we conceded that Cristiano Ronaldo goal. It was a cheap goal. And like I said, tomorrow, we're going to get into how we conceded that. But that was a cheap goal to concede defensively. Anyways, it was a cheap goal to concede moments after going in front, really, sort of thing, or scoring another one, you know. And again, the first 2 goals that we scored at Stamford Bridge, we was kind of pinged back. So game management, looking a bit more convincing defensively, because I did feel the first 20, 25 minutes of the second half, I think was there for the taking. I feel on one hand, we've actually been quite good. But on the other hand, when I remove emotions, we've set some decent standards since we've reset our season. We were kind of trying our hardest to fumble these games that we could have won, lost, or drawn all of them in the game. So defensively, we've got to look a bit more convincing collectively as a unit and individually, if I'm completely honest with you. You know, it's a big boost to the top 4 hopes and things. But as I said, minus the fact that we won, the magnitude, the points on the board, and definitely considering the fact of, you know, West Ham, who are fighting for 4th. I know people are looking at Chelsea. They dropped points. Spurs drew against Brentford, and also obviously we're able to beat United, and United have Chelsea next week. So make of that what you will. As I said, we need to be a bit more clever, a bit more street smart, have a bit more game management, look a bit better defensively. I think there was 4 poor fullbacks on display, 2 apiece for either side. And obviously Tavares has scored, but anytime he was asked questions defensively, he probably was in problems. Cedric somehow managed to have a worse game, if I'm completely honest. Big up Xhaka. Odegaard and Mohamed Del Nene as well. Big up the whole team regardless. But yeah, man, those 3 goals we've conceded in the last 2 games, we need to go back to the drawing board because, you know, they kind of followed the same caliber of the goals we conceded in previous games. So if we look at these last 5 games, I think there's a lot we can improve on as a team and go forward. It's a big test away from home against West Ham. It's going to be a different beast. And as much as I love it, we've won 2 games. We've lost 3 prior to that in the last 5. Let's put that ratio positively. Let's keep going, people. So it is what it is. It's fantastic to be here, but we go again next week with heart, desire, and all of those things, people. So yeah, man. It's good to it's good to win, but there's many things we can improve on. We've been linked with Tammy Abraham, more Gab Jesus stuff. I know Edu has come out with stuff. Let me know your opinions. I'm sure you've read it. We're gonna get into that, people. Of course, feel no sort of way. Please, if you're on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that like button as well, people. 43 likes, good start. Could be a great start, man. So yeah, what are you lot saying anyways? Big up Gooner in the chat. Hey, American Gooner, one love for gifting them community subs, man. I hope you're all having a blessed morning. How you doing today? As I said, I'm doing well, man. You know, I've done my live streams over on Twitch. We're here now. It's a nice day in the UK. My club won. I've got my health. The Bulls are playing right now in front of me. Hopefully they can continue in that vein. Man said Tammy plus Jesus would bang. Jesus can cover right wing and Tammy can cover left wing. I'm not really for that, but I hear you. Big up DJ. I think we should definitely try to get them both and then move for other targets. What's your views on the Jesus links? I'll offer them in a second, but I'm for it. You know, as I said, he hasn't got the most maddest of goal scoring records. That could be a lack of what he's showing, or it could be because he hasn't really had an opportunity. As I said on Twitch, I feel the rumors to Arsenal probably scared him because he probably thought, whoa, you know, me and Lacazette probably got the same amount of goals, so he had to separate himself. You know, Gab Jesus is 25. He's able to play on the wings. He's got a bag of experience. I do think he can improve. You know, I'm for it. I'm all for Gab Jesus in it. It's as simple as that, really. I'm all for it. I'll take Jesus. Think he can do really well once he understands his role in the team and not being a rotation player like Pep, like under Pep. I hear that. I can't lie, Cody Gap. I'm here for Cody Gakpo or Gab Jesus, really. It depends which one Arteta wants more. I don't like to be the guy about being in the league and stuff, but I kind of know what I'm getting to a slight degree with Gab Jesus. I don't necessarily know that to ring true with Gakpo because I've watched him, I know about him, but I don't know him like the back of my hand sort of thing, man. So it is what it is. You're live, brother. You're live. Trust me, you're live. You're live. I'm not feeling Tammy at all, but Jesus, I'm here for it. Jesus and Nunes will be quality if we get Champions League. And you see, you said it there. That's why I want us to get it more because, listen, Arteta's not Wenger. He can't really attract players like that unless you've got a point to prove. You know, we have been spending money, but all the players we're linked with is Champions League, Champions League, Champions League. That's a platform to bring in a certain caliber of player and things like that, man. So it is what it is. What have you said? Personally, they are the wrong players to go for. We are almost certain to be Champions League team next year. We need to go for Nunes or Tammy. I'm not too sure we can talk about almost certain, you know, when it's game week 38 and the season's done and it says Arsenal in 4th place or something, then I can begin to do all of that, my guy. But I don't know about any of that. I'll be completely honest with you. But yeah, let's get into half of these things. In fact, before half of that, let's look at Mikel Arteta's press conference. In fact, now I want to see what all these things that have been said are, man. Let's actually move all these tabs together as well. Let's get them all together. Let's start with Gab Jesus as well. Which one is better? Is it? Okay, I want to make sure we don't miss out anything. Okay. And I wouldn't even take his things literally. Okay, let's slap that over there. All right, cool. Now we can get into this, people. Where should we start? Gab Jesus. Now, we heard apparently, you know, Eddie's been chatting to them and whatnot. Apparently, some developments have said that actually we've been talking for months. I'm zooming in because I cannot make out what's going on. But anyways, the journalist who initially said things, hit the like button if you're on YouTube. Brazilian journalist George Nicola had the scoop on his YouTube channel with the news of Arsenal's interest in the Manchester City striker Gabriel Jesus, and he gave them interesting details, describing these negotiations as very advanced and that Arsenal had agreed to double the salary of the current player. The player's annual salary currently is 3.5 million euros, while Arsenal will double it to 6 million. The news was also confirmed by a reliable journalist in David Ornstein, who explained that negotiations had been underway for months between Arsenal and the players' representatives, but Arsenal still had not made an official offer to Manchester City. Now, obviously, that's probably the last thing. We're seeing the feasibility. We're prepared to double his contract. I'm sure indirectly Arteta and Edu have told Gab Jesus how he would feature in the project and things and what the club's trying to do. Now, I do think Gab Jesus is probably listening to maybe Champions League clubs that are onto him, allegedly, but I'm all for it. And if it has been, then calm. But, you know, considering we don't possibly know where we're finishing, these sort of things can affect stuff. And to be fair with you, we've held talks with everyone allegedly. Like, you know, as much as we criticize Edu, we've heard talks for Arthur Melo, talks for months with Telemans, talks for months with Jonathan David, whose form's kind of dipped. His form's kind of dipped, if I'm completely honest with you as well. I don't know why it says Manchester United live reaction on Twitch. Sorry, people. It kind of is that, but nonetheless, love for updating me on that, my guy. There it is. Hopefully everything's cushy. But yeah, we're in talks with half of these guys, innit? We're hearing. And what I care about is backup options. I don't want excuses. If you can't grab Gab Jesus, get Gakpo. If you can't get Gakpo, get this, get that. And you heard that we're still interested in Osimhen. We're still interested in Darwin Núñez. So yeah, man, hopefully we're on the right step there, man. I'm taking Gab Jesus. Now, I don't know if he's going to score the goals because he hasn't really got the strongest of CV, whether that's because he's trusted under Pep Guardiola, whether that's because he's played enough, I don't know. He did what he scored for, you know, this week. I'm taking him for the squad, for whatever in it. I think he can grow. I think he can be part of this thing. He gives us an option on the flanks as well as up front. Arteta should know all the thing about him, obvious City links, so I'm all for it, people. This article went on to say, we attempted to communicate with one of Gabriel Jesus' close friends in this regard, who in turn confirmed this news and added that the talks began months ago and were not the result of the moment, and news of Erling Haaland approaching Man City accelerated the pace of talks in the past hours, people. So I mean, Gabriel Jesus, you know, they tried to bring Kane and Haaland last summer. Sources also assured us that the talks have already reached an advanced stage and that all parties desire to actually complete the deal. But until this moment, the final agreement between the clubs has not been reached on the fee of the deal. But there's clear perception between the two parties about the value. So again, he's contracted until 2023. They're going to have to make a decision on him, whether they want to or not, people. So yeah, man, multiple outlets have confirmed that my man is leaving, Gab Jesus, if you didn't know already. So yeah, I'm for it, really and truly. And I think he was asked on his future already, people. And what did he say? I mean, he says he sounds exactly like Arteta when he says all that, you know, nobody deserves it more than them and things like that. So you've heard already we're in advanced talks, people. But let's scroll down to see exactly where it is. Gabriel Jesus will leave Manchester City this summer in a boost to Arsenal's transfer hopes, according to reports. The 25-year-old Brazilian has just 16 months, remaining on his current contract at the Etihad, and the champions may have to let him go. Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein have more or less confirmed such as well, people. Before we go over any of that, people, Pep Guardiola allegedly spoke about it, people. So let's see exactly what my man has had to say, because he holds all the keys to it, really and truly. Let's see what he's had to say. He's held him up. He said, I said before, if there's one person in world football, this is going to sound like what Arteta said about Eddie and Nketiah. I said before, if there's one person in world football that deserves nights like Gabriel had, then it's him. We are delighted for him, and he helped us a lot. He helped us to win this game. Of course, the assist from Zinchenko and the assist from Kevin De Bruyne are brilliant, but he has to be there. When asked about his future, he said, I want to tell you something. Gabriel Jesus is our player. I don't know what's going to happen, but he is a Manchester City player. When he has days like this, I'm the happiest man in the world. He hasn't necessarily said he wants to keep him. He hasn't said he's leaving, bearing in mind the season's not done. Things are happening. In the back burner, stuff might be happening, but I don't know. Every player is happy when they play 90 minutes. when they play 90 minutes all the time. By the end of the season, whether he wants to stay or leave, I don't know or care. We have less than 1 month. My only concern is the players will do everything to try and win. After that, no one knows that what will happen. Now, anything can happen. He could commit his future. He could leave. He could go somewhere that's not Arsenal, but really contracted until 2023. Really, you know, if the deal was going to happen, it still can. But whether he's staying, whether he's going, whether he's a new deal on loan, they probably do know already, people. And he's gassed him up, but he kept gassing it up. But yeah, I don't know what conclusion you want to draw there, folks, man. I'm missing out some of you. What are you saying? How do you feel about Edu saying we're only looking to sign 2 players in the summer? There were some rumors that they've taken it out of context. I personally believe they're going to sign more than 2 players. I think that kind of meant players that are going to change this thing. We need players like Jesus in our squad, 3 Prem titles and many good habits coached into him. I hear that. Prior to that Watford game, he only scored 3 tries. He's on scumbagging. Arteta can get the best out of Gab Jesus in his system. I think he fits the system perfectly, man. Big up Roger, big up DG, Jesus, and even Origi as he just came on for Liverpool and scored. If the price is right, then why not? Arsenal still aren't able to attract killers just yet. I'm not on the Origi thing. I'm here for Gab Jesus, though. I can't lie, man. I'd rather have Julian Alvarez on loan, Myth. I'd rather have players permanently. I mean, yeah, Jesus, I'm not for it by himself. I'd rather take João Felix. He'll probably cost the same as Tammy Abraham. Gabby would be an incredible signing. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, man. There is no point going for Jesus. We have a young and hungry Brazilian in Martinelli who can and should play for a striker of us and has more talent than Jesus. I mean, football's a squad game. Even with 1 game a week, we've seen how difficult it is. Martinelli is still a young player, like you've seen with Saka and Smith Rowe. While they've been very consistent for near enough all of the season, there's been parts where they need to take the mantelpiece. There's been times you've seen Harry Kane. You've had this season, you've seen Salah, despite having 20 goals, kind of be off the ball for a few games. And Liverpool have still not, you know, you haven't seen the brunt of it really. So you need a squad. So I'm all for that. And again, it allows Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe. The more options you have, these players can grow organically. We're still in a testament to Saka and Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe didn't score against United, but we're in a place where 9 times out of 10, if these lot don't play well, whether that's scoring, assisting, or dominating the game, we're not winning. So we need players who can take the burden. And obviously, there's resale value in Gab Jesus. If he comes, shows some talent that initially got him over to City, then at 25 years of age, let's be real, there's certain things that can happen potentially. So I don't mind, man. I don't mind, man. Really and truly. Let me see what else. Nunes, Osimhen, Jesus, Tony. Only 2. Who you picking for Arsenal? Ooh. I'd say Nunes and Jesus, because it would probably be Nunes and Osimhen, but I don't think you're gonna not be able to keep 2 out and out number 9s calm in it. I think Jesus, the ability to play out wide, Nunes, the gunman in goal, in front of goal, sorry, they can do their thing. So yeah, my initial pick in terms of names would be Nunes and Osimhen, but I would say in terms of just practicalities for the squad and that, I would probably say for me, Darwin Nunes and Gab Jesus. Saying that, Nunes and Ivan Tony to specifically replace Lacazette could be the thing, but you know Brentford are gonna ask for a serious thing, man. Hope you're doing well, man. Well, go on, Marquee. You know, Arteta, bro, Arteta's not gonna stop until he has a full team filled with Brazilians that names are Gabby, Gabriel, bare things. You know how much guys are gonna turn around in the dressing room? I'm here for that, man. It's all about fighting for your place. Love the young G's, but there needs to be competition for place. Exactly. And for me, if Martinelli gets the 9 shirt or the 14, if you're wearing number 7, which Saka isn't doing well, as is Martinelli with his number 35. If you're, you know, number 10 like Smith Rowe, then bro, there's a target on your back. In a nice way, you're doing your thing, but that's the pinnacle. The only way is down. If I become heavyweight champion, I've got a target on my back, so I have to keep showing I'm sorry because everybody wants this. Arsenal should always be looking for number 9s for everywhere, but big clubs should always be looking for 9s, for 7s, for 10s. You know, I would argue defenders as well. There needs to be that healthy pressure, and we need balance. You know, like you've seen, there's been times Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka, etc. have been better and worse. Our midfielders, there's been times Xhaka's been better than Partey. Partey's been the guy other people have stood up to be counted. I don't really buy it, but there's been times where, to a degree, I'm gassing it. But Lokonga, I'm capping a lot. Pepe, definitely not them two. In fact, more so, I would say even Maitland-Niles at a time. Tavares locked it down. Cedric had a good 2 games. You've got them purple patches, but we need more consistency, man. Even you lot have seen, even with one game a week after going out to Liverpool and fucking up in the FA Cup and just having the Premier League, we've struggled for whatever reason. So I'd rather be over prepared, man. You know, really and truly, than under prepared, really and truly. So yeah, man, I'm all for this. Pep's played it down in it. He hasn't spoken. He hasn't spoken on anything. Let me see if he said anything new here. This is probably the same comments. You see, this just sounds like Mikel Arteta, people, what he's saying here. This is what Mikel Arteta says about Eddie. I think Arteta's got that thing about Pep, is that when he gasses it too much, it's kind of being dishonest. But the players at the front, not only Gab Jesus for this incredible 4 goals, but Raheem, Jack, Kevin, all of them, they were brilliant. If there's one person who deserves the best for his life, for him and his friends and family, it's Gabriel. All of us at the club and the locker room, when he has one of these situations, we are happy for him because he's so generous, and it doesn't matter what position he's going to play. He always fights. He always helps for his teammates. It was fantastic. You know, that was his 4th career hat-trick and his first since netting 3 times against Dynamo Zagreb in 2019, people. He's the 5th Brazilian hat-trick scorer in the Premier League after Alfonso Alvarez, wasn't he, at Middlesbrough? I can't listen, them man, they are Buki, so I'm not saying their names, but Lucas Moura and Firmino. Also became the 2nd City player to be directly involved in 5 goals in a single Premier League game with 1 assist and 4 goals. He said it was his day. He allowed, he scumbagged a couple of end of season statistics. He gassed himself up, people. And I think this is probably an interesting bit. When I play on the right side, I try to do the same, but he's better than me. Obviously, when he has the ball, I try to go in the area to finish. And today I was happy that he gave a very good cross and I could head it in. What did you say about your future, though? So, yeah, he actually hasn't said anything specific there. If there's one Manchester City player who I would look at, it would be none other than Jack Grealish. I mean, for obvious reason, that one there is probably a fat myth. We've got 80 likes, people. That's great, but it's nowhere near 100 people. So, yeah, make of that what you will. Let's start closing that. This just pick up the Daily Cannon, I guess. They're just, these lot are just confirming more or less that Gabriel Jesus is leaving. Allegedly, Jack Gorn of the Daily Mail, forgive me for pronunciation, has confirmed he's offered his spin on Gabriel Jesus. He adds that Jesus wants to prove himself as a number 9 after playing out wide quite a lot for Man City. And I mean, Eddie Nketiah is probably leaving, but one has to wonder how. And Arteta has to sell dreams, but you're not. Gabriel Jesus and another striker, there'd be ample opportunities, but you can't have another new striker that we all want. Gab Jesus who can play out wide as well as through the middle, and give Eddie a new deal and give them all game time. For me, I think you gas Eddie Nketiah. Oh, the balls are getting smacked up. Gas Eddie Nketiah once he signs that new deal, loan things. So I'm all for that, people. So yeah, it seems that they all these are reports where Jesus is concerned. They all agree that A, he's leaving. 2, it seems like he wants to go and get a higher squad stature. Personal terms and wages and things don't appear to be a problem with Arsenal. Talks have been happening for months, so the I's and T's have been dotted. It's just a case of when the time is right, agreeing a fee with City, and it all depends. They spent like 20 odd million on him. Yep, I think Eddie is going to leave, which is best for him. It is best for him, go somewhere you can play consistently, really. I know you've got your way into the team now, but why is it taking for your contract to run down for you to really put some consistent minutes on the board, with Chelsea, United, where and obviously Southampton, where he's done well in all them games, Eddie, to be fair. So it is what it is, people. And apparently, once again, crucially, there's desire from all parties to complete the deal. And there's a clear perception between Arsenal and City, allegedly, about the value of the player, even before negotiations get underway. And I hope Arteta and Pep can come to a resolution and make things happen, people. So, yeah, man, it seems that's the thing, really. So we'll have to see how that develops. Closing all of these. Let's get into what specifically Edu has said or not said, people. This is Google Translate, so I'll circle back over on the goal.com article to see what's said, just in case, people. Apparently, Edu Gaspar, admits going to the market for 1 or 2 players, and he's very excited. If you don't know, apparently they were briefed not to ask him about Gab Jesus, but if you don't know, Edu was speaking before the Arsenal Man United game at the Emirates, people. At Arsenal's own request, as you lot can see here, the report did not address the topic of Gabriel Jesus for obvious reasons. So, yeah, man, apparently Edu talked about the team's planning, admitted that he expects to bring in 2 strong reinforcements at the end of the season, and explains why that didn't happen last summer. The budget we used last summer, we prefer to use it to rebalance the squad. There was no point in hiring 1 or 2 players. The squad was not prepared to absorb 2 players. We needed to rebalance the squad. Maybe next season we can go for 1 or 2 athletes. Today we find a much more balanced cast. And I agree, but on the one hand, are we really balanced? Because we've got the bodies, and I know people are talking about giving El Nene a new deal, but we're going to be weak in midfield. At this moment in time, we haven't addressed up front. You could argue that we're weak at centre half as well, if I'm honest with you, because off the top of my head, you've got Ben White, Gabriel, Holdings there who might leave, and then you've got to throw in at this moment. I hope Saliba comes back, but Tomiyasu or Xhaka or someone's gonna have to do a job in the heart of defense. So right back, I know there's Cedric, and he did well for a couple of games before reverting to his level. I don't know if that's balanced. Left back, Tavares is calm, but he looks like he might need a loan or something where he can make mistakes, but it doesn't necessarily cost us. So the squad is balanced, but like in last summer, we didn't sign a midfielder. So it all depends how you look at our foundations. I do think, once again, what he said there has been slightly taken out of context. I think he means 1 or 2 players that can significantly improve our team, as we all know, i.e. a number 8. I know Xhaka's done well. He's bullied Chelsea and United this week. But, can you get someone that does that, or what Arteta wants, but to another level? And obvious reasons. Goes without saying, a striker. And then it becomes about depth. Can you get 2 strikers or a winger that can play up there? Can you get some fullbacks? You get it? Just complementing the side, because we've been pushed to our limits already this season. So what do you think is going to happen? Where, rightly so, I want us to go further in the FA Cup. I want us to be in the Champions League. We'll still be in the Prem. I don't know what the season's going to look like, bearing in mind the World Cup is in November, but you get the point. Yeah, Tavares, but defensively, he's not ready, man. He might need to go out elsewhere where he can make mistakes where it doesn't really affect us. But he said our planning has already been done. It has already reached the owners, as it should. You should have the targets. And one thing I like, even though I don't know Edu, is that it seems like we've got plans. There seems like you get Champions League, you get Conference League, you get Europa League, you get no football. There's some sort of plan. Whether I agree with it's another thing, but it does seem like there's a sort of plan. And that's all I ask for. If you can't get Gakpo, get Gab Jesus. If you can't get Gab Jesus, get this guy. If you can't get Telemans, get that guy. I don't want excuses. I want results. I want proper incomings now. And we all know when it comes with outgoings, it's easier said than done. Shout out to Bellerin. He just won a Copa del Rey with the club he supported as a boy, I think, in Betis. Get that sorted. Torreira's doing well in Italy. Get that sorted. Ainsley Maitland now stinking up the place at Roma, as well as stinking it up at Arsenal. Get that sorted. Reece Nelson, get that sorted. Leno, get that sorted. There's going to be free transfers as well. So you might have to hold on to a few players as well, even if you don't want to. If you had to hold on to someone, I'd probably say Nketiah and El Nene. I'm not really trying to hear other things, but I do think because of these last 2 weeks, again, Arsenal fans have done that rose tints where we start looking at players as the Messiah. We like how certain times people are saying Lacazette a new deal. They're doing it again, really and truly. And boy, it is what it is. He said it's a matter of step by step how we are going to finish the season and put in the planning that I'm very excited. Calm. I mean, let's see exactly what he said past that. I think this is the same thing he said, people. So yeah. I think he said the Champions League and Europa League both require a much larger squad because of the amount of games is much bigger. That could be a luxury that's afforded. We can afford, if we can afford it financially, and we don't have to do the turnaround in the squad that we had to. What I want is 22 outfield players and 3 goalkeepers. This is Mikel Arteta's comments. I remember this. A lot of things have to be put in place and it takes time. So I'm expecting a busy summer, as we all are. And we've got to remember it's a World Cup here. Certain players will move to boost their World Cup status. Certain people will prefer like stability, because let's just say if I'm in Concu, for example, I'm badding it up at Leipzig, I move PSG, Arsenal, United, whatever, and the teams are stinking up the place, or the manager's not using me in the same way, or I'm struggling to adapt to the team, that might cost me a place in Europe. I mean, in the French squad or whoever for the World Cup. So it's a bit of an interesting one. If we get Champions League, that's the icing on top of the cake, man. But I really hope there's been planning. Away from Edu's comments, people. Allegedly, we want Tammy Abraham. I don't know what to make of that. Well, 100 likes. Keep running that up, people. Arsenal prepared to offer Roma lucrative 50 million package to land Tammy Abraham. Again, I guess we're trying to do that before Chelsea can get back in there. I just think this is the same old recycled rumor. Is what it is, man. Arsenal are ready to renew their interest in Tammy Abraham if they secure a top 4 finish and reach the Champions League. We tried to sign him 12 months ago. It didn't bang. Chelsea have a buyback option. There must be a sell-on clause there. Apparently, if Champions League is secured, Arsenal are prepared to seize the initiative and present the Serie A outfit with a 50 million offer once this season ends. Apparently, he's happy in Roma, but he's never hid the secret of him wanting to go back, people. It's understood Arsenal believe Roma might be tempted in bagging a quick profit on the versatile forward, having paid 34 million just a few months ago. But then they're going to have to buy a next one, really. The North Londoners are scouring the market with Lacazette's contract running out. Dominic Calvert-Lewin also remains a player of interest to Arsenal despite a campaign that has been blighted by injury and obvious loss of form. We've been linked with Osimhen as well. Allegedly, it will cost 67 million quid to sign him, people. Make of that what you will. I don't know if Arsenal will actually do it. Arsenal told to fork out 67 million to land Victor Osimhen, but Napoli striker will only join if they reach the Champions League. Can we get Fabian Ruiz? He has 16 goals to his name. Obviously, we saw Lautaro Martinez score a header yesterday as well. Napoli are sat third. They're fighting firmly for the title in the Serie A table. He's doing quite well. They have a difficult president to negotiate. I think it's a bit of a myth for Osimhen, if I'm honest with you. And if you want it, allegedly, it's 67 million. And also, apparently, we've been tracking the Nigerian international for months, as we should. This article also reports that Arsenal have already taken several concrete steps through middlemen to lay the groundwork for the deal. However, he's keen to play Champions League. And we should, he should be on the list, but I think he's probably too hard to obtain, if I'm completely honest with you. We probably had to get them sort of players in when he was at Leo and that, but it looks a myth, people. So yeah, that's Osimhen for you. And this is just your 80 million euros, 67 million quid. This just seems they're all saying the same. They want, as James Bain just said, Napoli want at least 80 million if they are to consider selling Osimhen. He's among the many strikers Arsenal have been tracking. Now, tracking doesn't mean making a move. If we're looking for strikers, then we're evidently going to just look at the market. It was all Vlahovic in January. We actually heard we tried for Darwin Núñez, so it doesn't surprise me to hear Osimhen, Jonathan David, Calvert-Lewin, the same recycled names. You're going to keep looking at them, are you not, people? So yeah, man. And it's again just more articles reflecting the same things, people. Once again, that's Edu's comments, and yeah, man, that's that really. Where the transfer market is concerned, people. So yeah, that's Tammy Abraham, Edu Gaspar, and Gab Jesus' comments. I mean, and the latest on Gab Jesus, really. So that's that. I hear all it. I take things with a pinch of salt coming out of Italy. I would like to see some centre mid targets, because we're not going. You can have the striker, I can't lie. I don't think we create enough or really enough to say it's as white and black as a striker signs, and we're gonna start doing a madness. But let's do that. I think you sign an 8 and a 9, then we can have that conversation. Until you sign a midfielder, we're not doing nothing serious. I honestly believe that. Like, as much as I like the performances from everyone in midfield, until you sign that number 8 that transforms this team, it's crazy, man. Who you grabbing in the relegated Everton squad? For the cheap, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I mean, for the cheap, if we couldn't get Gab Jesus, I wouldn't mind Richarlison. Off the top of my head, Ben Godfrey for the squad, apart from, and that's what I'm forcing it with all of them, man. We should buy Paqueta, Schick, and Gakpo or Jesus at the minimum. I think Schick can stay where he is. Tierney needs to smart wrap himself in the winter, exposed into the cold in the long-term affects injuries. How many players like Patton will be integrated from the youth squad? I don't know. You'd have to speak to them lot there. 2 forwards, 1 midfielder, top quality at least. Edu speaks as if he's not replaceable. This guy has had the worst movement of a technical director in history. How much have we actually made in the last 4 years? I swear we need Terminator more for real. I'm going to hold you to that, Edu. If you've got things patterned for the summer, no messing about. Get them ready in pre-season. That's another thing I wish Arsenal did. Like, the earlier you get them in, the quicker they integrate, and the more you're laughing, in it, really and truly. You're right. In terms of financial, Laka won't be more than 15, 20. Eddie surely scores more next season, so go. But it's just the fact that Eddie's 22, bro. You give him, if I'm Eddie's advisors, I'm trying to say 3-year deal because you can find yourself in 18 months in this scenario to renew again. But if Arsenal could get a 3, 4, 5-year deal, Eddie, if Eddie can prove he can be a squad player, that's great. If not, you might prove that Premier League clubs will take a chance. So we could get a loan, provided he signed a new deal, you get a loan fee, and then he shows he might go on loan, show that he can get 15, 10 goals, you know, do something, and he might become good enough for Arsenal. That's great. Or we might be in a scenario where we've got an appreciating asset that could be sold on for peas, just like with Joe Willock, and in hindsight, it will be as well. But we need to make some proper piece selling, man. And I would say, you know, people get signings wrong. If there are any signings we've got wrong in this squad, then I think a key thing has to be able to nip them in the bud. Really and truly. That's just me though. We still need an upgrade. Sell Ainsley Maitland-Niles at least. If El Nene doesn't mind being a filler. I mean, if El Nene doesn't mind playing 5 games a season, why not, man? Plan. Ask again, what was the plan in January, boy? Tomiyasu and Tini both being injured won't be that likely next year. I don't deal with hypotheticals, bro. Like, Tomiyasu, I don't know what's going on there. Tini, we kind of been down this road. So, sign the guys, isn't it? Like, respectfully. Well, I can't lie. I like Tavares, but right now, we're going to get ripped in the Champions League anyways. You'll find it very tough, man. This is the same guy who didn't have the balls or belief to say Arsenal has a target for a season in the Prem. He's slow to the mark on players, uses how much of his Brazilian knowledge. Right, yo, onto him. If we get Jesus, Ruben Neves, and Telemans, keep what we have with Xhaka, Pepe, Eddie, William Saliba, Ainsley Maitland-Niles back up right back instead of Suarez. Do you see that as a good midfield, good window? It's better than it could be, but I wouldn't say it's anything transformation. And forgive me if I'm wrong, you didn't mention a striker. So no matter who, obviously, if the striker doesn't bang, we'll sit here and deal with it. But Arsenal can't come out of the next transfer window without a midfielder and a striker. We all love Adeyemi. I hope you're well, Jay. So yeah, man. Tony is always available for the ball out. It all depends, man. I'm not trying to hit 50 million for Ivan Tony. Obviously, if he does his thing, then it doesn't matter. But that one there is a bit mad still. I mean, there's out of the names you said, I wouldn't mind Torreira, but Torreira doesn't want to be here. I would rather, you know, Saliba can come back. I think it's time for Ainsley Maitland-Niles to keep it moving for himself, man. It's time to go somewhere and whatnot. Telemans or Basuma, choose one. I think the impact of Basuma would be greater, but Telemans, Ruben Neves or Ruiz, Fabian Ruiz, sorry. I may not say as much, but I do love your content. I appreciate that, my guy. Would you take Gordon for depth? Yeah, for depth, but it's forcing it, innit? I'm just forcing names. For depth, why not, man? You can never have no much depth. With the way Xhaka is playing, who do you think is a realistic upgrade, bro? There's a bag of them, you know, respectfully. You know, I would love Fabian Ruiz, you know, someone more mobile. Xhaka's 29, he's still young, but we're kind of at his mercy whether he wants to stay or go, really. And every window, you know, I know it looks all rosy right now, but the sentiment changes. Right now, everybody loves him. Certain things happen. It's back to him getting scapegoated in that. Tammy Jesus would be the best. Both 24, 25 can play in the front too. Tammy has proper instincts, makes up for Jesus's goal output. Crazy. Nunes or Osman, I'd rather Nunes if it got to that, bro. We need 2 strikers and at least 1 midfielder. I think we need at least 2. I'd rather 2 midfielders than 2 strikers, if that makes sense, because I don't rate the midfield options. I like Xhaka, but we all know the road that we go with Xhaka. Partey, there's still question marks there. Lokonga's still young, still keeping around for next season. El Nene, obviously, he's lit when the big games are about, but there's also games he's stinking up the place, and he did want to go in January. His contract is up, is giving him a contract, the best thing or the worst. There's every reason to give El Nene a new deal for depth reasons. There's every reason to say, you man, it's time to keep it moving, innit, really and truly. Big up you lot locked in across Twitch and YouTube. Don't forget, people, first live stream tomorrow is on Twitch at 10 a.m. Yeah, that's that, man. Do want to see what Mikel Arteta has had to say as well in his press conference. 300 of you locked in on YouTube. However, there is only 120 likes. What's up with that one? Why is it saying Arsenal Man United reaction on my YouTube video as well, man? What the fuck? StreamYard's just collapsing up my thing, man. There you have it. I think everything should be normal there, man. Is what it is. Back to normal. So yeah, man. Anytime anyone has a good game, we're talking about renewing contracts. Trust, Lacazette, El Nene, respectfully, like most clubs just Gravenberch's going by and allegedly just buy, bro. El Nene's a cool guy, and if he stays, it is what it is. He's not the worst, but bro, just buy somewhere else now. Like just new things, man. Things have been in the wardrobe too much. Like it might be a good coat, there's no holes in it, but it's just been there for time. Just new now, man. Fabian Ruiz ain't no upgrade. La, you're moving mad. Fair enough. I think I answered that already. Fabian Ruiz not an upgrade on Xhaka. Fair enough. The winger needs to be down the pecking order of things if Pepe is content on staying. If I'm Pepe, I can't lie, I'm probably leaving. You're not playing, bro. Like, you're actually not playing football too tough. Like, you know, it is what it is. It just has not worked out. Ronaldo, wouldn't be against it. Wouldn't move. Wouldn't necessarily try. If the certain conditions are right, why not, man? Try shake PSG. Do that. Do an 18-month loan thing, man. Why not, man? Allegedly, people. There's discussions about the possibility of another Saliba loan, people. Let me get the link. Whereas now we got to make these timestamps even longer. And I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not against it if he renews his deal, but I think we need him to not even. I think we'll just need a centre back in it. Like we haven't got enough. Like I don't want to hear nothing about Pablo Mari's not good enough in terms of depth. Chambers is gone as well. Who, let's be honest, the man, they're hot and cold. Even Holding's hot and cold, man. There's games he does well, and in certain contexts, you know, we can't allow things to gas it, man. Yeah, need more experience, but it has to be the right players, man. I don't like how we have to over rely things, man. Rely on these young players. Like I said, if they don't turn up, we don't win games at this moment in time. That is atrocious, and I, for one, cannot see what's said there. Pablo Longoria has been in conversations to convince Saliba to stay at Marseille, but I mean, the Arsenal have to agree it. So you can try and gas Saliba. I think Saliba's open to staying, coming back to Arsenal, or leaving or going loan elsewhere permanently. If he isn't to stay at Arsenal next season, I understand he's got stability and he could have a good chance of getting into French squad on a permanent basis. I'd prefer him to be in the Premier League like we initially tried to loan him to, out your comfort zone in a difficult league where you're under the microscope. But apparently he's begun efforts to convince the 21-year-old on loan to remain. And apparently they've been linked with a whole host of other centre-backs as well. And to be honest, are we really surprised? Conversations probably started a long time ago, but Longoria has begun conversations with Saliba and his reps about whether the player would like to stay if the club qualifies for the Champions League, having made the argument, according to sources familiar with the matter, to the defender, that he needs to be starting every match between now and towards the end of the year to give him the best chance of being part of the World Cup squad. We know that. We've been saying that. You know, you're going to come back to Arsenal and be third choice. Now, I do think he will have to wait and to get his chance, but if he takes it, he takes it like everybody's had to. I also feel if he was about right now, you know, then Saliba and Gabriel, one of them could be dropped. But at the end of the day, the move to Marseille has been vindicated. He's playing a lot. He's been called up to France, and he needs to maintain that. He's hoping to convince the Gunners to allow him to be reloaned, and he's relying on the support from Saliba and his reps. You'd have to sign a new deal. Saliba said there'll be a decision on his future in May or June. Saliba is still yet to have, and we always hear rumors he wants to stay. He wants to come to Arsenal. He doesn't mind being a rotation option. He just wants to be assured that he's going to be given a fair chance. Saliba has still yet to have clarifying discussions with Arsenal about his future, and while he has publicly and privately confirmed an interest in extending his stay in Marseille, he will not make a decision until formal discussions with Arsenal have taken place. So that's with Saliba's concern, people. Good timely addition to this live stream as well, really and truly. So yeah, with that we can extend the minutes to 44:20. 1 second, folks. as we've got things to do. What the hell? So yeah, sorry people, just seen it. I thought I had some notes on my phone about some other stuff, but it's not there. I'm sure there was some other rumors, man, but it's not there, is it? To be honest, I don't mind Saliba going back on loan. If we, I don't mind him if you're gonna play all the time. But for me, next season he should be here, having an opportunity and being part of what we're trying to do, really and truly. But at the same time, I would like us to bring maybe someone that's 28, 29, 27 plus, someone that's not necessarily a big name, someone that really likes to defend, because I do think there's been times I would prefer GABRIEL or Ben White to be pulled out of the team, especially in the last few games, and just have a cool head. And I think, especially in moments like against United and Chelsea, for as good as we did and as good as they were, I think sometimes they show their age, much like the young attacking players. So, yeah, man. Says, I don't know what's going on, man. Saliba, Marseille ain't got peas to take Saliba permanently, but I do think if Arsenal offered their 27 million euros back, they'd have. I think they might do it. Yeah, technically he'll have 2 years left on his contracted until 2024, bro. Full overhaul. Pepe goes, Maitland-Niles goes, Xhaka holding Cedric on the bench, 2 strikers, 2 new midfielders, a left back, right back bring in. And if Turner ain't the guy, then a new goalie to pressure Ramsdale. I hear it. Any news on Ruben Neves? Now we'll probably have to wait 2 weeks to see something. Elise, out of Ize and Elise, would you take Gakpo 100%? Connor Cody? No. Yeah, we need to. Look at you, lot. You're Danny. You're a Liverpool man, you know. Kanate comes in for big games sometimes, but he has to hold bench. You've got Matip and Van Dijk who are 30. Not that you've ever seen Van Dijk fall off, but if he falls off, there's certain man there, in it. Matip, there's someone there. Obviously, forgotten man, Joe Willett. Man said Joe Willett. Joe Gomez, sorry. We need that. I mean, I'd love Gnabry, especially, I think I'm like most Arsenal fans. We've got small hopes. When you hear stuff around his contract and stuff, you've got small hopes that that we'll have something to say about him. But as a betting man, it's a myth. It's an absolute myth. Yeah, man. Without top 4, the players you mentioned are a dream. But I mean, there was no guarantees of top 4. There was 70 million there for Vlahovic, whether they were just lying to us or not. So there's peas there. Reality is, you put the money on the table, you can get certain players. You might not be able to get every talent, and it might be a dream, you're right. But we can't, while European football gives you a massive hope of getting players, we can't act like it's not about you. You just put the money on the table today in this day and age. Arguably, when we've not been getting Europe and we've needed to manage our finances properly, we've been more reckless. Whether that's giving people new deals, rubbing and then tearing it up, whether that's bringing in costly free transfers and shit loans and 72 million, 52 million, and 40 million pound men in midfield who their contracts might be running out, they might be speculated to leave and things. Depending on what Arsenal fan you speak to, they're either good or not or misunderstood. And these certain conversations have been being said about the same individuals for years now. So I don't know what to say there personally. Think this summer is about getting the star man. Then next window we'll refine the squad. For real, certain talents want Muley, and Arsenal got a reputation for paying dumb wages. But it is what it is. You've got a bro. Like, let's be real. Arteta's not the guy to be attracting guys. He ain't. It's not like Pep, where you would want to improve under Pep. Obviously, I'm not saying Arteta can't improve, but he's not a household name. Arsenal, yeah, we've still got the history and the prestige and all these things. But once you get to the nuts and bolts, they might say, certain men are going to say, boy, there's no Champions League. Your squad's young. I'm going to come here with certain mentalities. I'm not going to be able to change things. Right now, we're going for players that kind of reflect the manager, players that have a point to prove in world football. These young Haaland dons, these dons who have just been brought in. And you're right, though. I do hope in the summer, I just want it to be the right man. As much as I like big money signings and it gasses everyone, I just want the right dons, man. Like, we spent money. Like, we've spent peas. Like, we may have not have spent peas when we needed to, but we've spent peas. We might not have spent peas for the right guys, but peas has been spent, bro. Like, look at half of Liverpool signings, with the exception of Van Dijk and Alisson, where there's taxes applied. Not too many of their players they've not been players that are not necessarily unattainable. Diaz was there. You know, people were chatting on him. Jota was there. People were chatting on him. At the time, Mane was there. Salah was there. Probably a couple of Robertson, Hold. No one was rating this thing like that. The IQ has to be there to a degree. Even City, Ruben Diaz was there. Bernardo Silva, you know. You lot can go back to my earlier videos on bloody YouTube. I'm dying to get Bernardo Silva at this club before he was on this thing, really. You know, they've been there. You know, very obviously they've went out and they tried to get Kane. They get in Haaland. They tried to get, you know, they're getting these sort of guys. Grealish 100-odd million, but half of the guys, they're guys that can be attained for like 40 million. Now, of course, there's certain luxuries. These lot got Klopp and Pep, and there's Champions League, and there's maybe other things we don't know about what's going on. But yeah, man. I mean, Renato Sanchez, there must be something bugged about him, man, because he's like, oh, well, like they're there for the taking, and no one's taking a chance. I mean, the goal for Edu, he needs to bring in these marquee talents, try and complement the squad, try and get rid of players. And also Martinelli, Saka, there's talk of Gabriel, the centre-back, Saliba as well, another centre-back. New deals need to be done, really. I would take Darwin Núñez today if I could, man. So, yeah, man, some very interesting comments. Take them tomorrow if I could, but that's not the way the cookie's going to crumble, is it, really and truly? So it is what it is where that's concerned. Big up to you lot tuned in. Please make sure you're hitting that like button if you're listening on YouTube. Twitch gang, you're doing the right things, in it. Exactly. There's a player there, and respectfully, you know, if there's not a player there with Fabio Carvalho, boy, it's 10 million. Simple as that. Like, he's been there as well. Like, it's 10 million. If it don't bang, fuck off. Pardon my language. Like, it is what it is. You give this. Sometimes you get things wrong. Tavares didn't cost that much. So while I want us to work with him and train him and all these things, bro, if there's a 30 left back, if you can go grab Aaron Hickney and say, Tavares, go out on loan. We got you for 7 million or something like that. Let's make a piece, bro. You have to just hold it. Kamara on a free transfer. I'm not against it, man. I'm really not against it. But he's probably, I think he's got a Champions League club, which we might be. What's a good window for you, DG? Like bare minimum. If I don't know what it is, but for me, if I don't see a number 8, then there can be no one. Even if you sign Osimhen and Darwin Núñez, if you do not sign a midfielder for me, I'm not taking it in. I can't lie to you. I cannot lie to you. You get a midfielder, you know, midfielder, I'd say the minimum, because I know it's hard to bring people in. I know you can't renew deals and, you know, renew deals, get new guys in, do bare things. But I would say the minimum, one strike, while I want 2 of each, 1 striker, 1 midfielder, the outgoings, you know, the outgoings. They've all got one, the ones that have a year left. You need to get P's for Bellerin, Torreira, Leno, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. That's the minimum for me, man. Now, fuck that, man. No, I ain't trying to hear the Lingard thing. Ward Prowse can come. He can be one of them. You know, he doesn't do anything amazing apart from the free kicks, but there's a consistency level there. The thing is, though, Xhaka's a competitor, and if you're not playing, you're not playing, in it. But, you know, I don't think Xhaka's one of them that's going to be, I don't care about his happiness per se like that, but I don't think he's going to be too thrilled with losing his spot in the team. He might look to move, but I think Xhaka should be the squad done. Xhaka shouldn't be the first name on the team sheet sort of thing. And this ain't a Xhaka hate campaign. It's just even Xhaka's biggest supporters. Like, there's a reason some of us campaign for the Lacazettes, for Xhaka's, for this guy, for that guy, and Arsenal ain't doing much beyond the obvious. It's not all on the players, but come on now. Like, you got to be cruel to be kind. Do we want nice guys or nice personalities? Do we want romances, or do we want the romance of the collective? Because it just seems that Arsenal, one good game, you get a new deal. We talk about how you're good for the young squad. You're good with the players. That's great. I want nice guys. I want that, but I want good footballers first. We're not here to make friends. We're here to make history. So, yeah, man. If you could get Xhaka for 20, if you could sell Xhaka for 20, why not? You rating the Chuckle Bros in midfield. Bit harsh on Xhaka. Love Paqueta. Who is your outgoing list? I mean, the contracts, bro. Leno, he wants to leave. 2023. Torreira, I would love Torreira to stay, but he doesn't want to. 2023, you've got to keep it moving. You know, Ainsley Maitland-Niles would like you to just accept you're a squad done at this team. That's you. Might not want to do that. There's that. Would badly try and do the same for Reece Nelson. Does he want to do that? And he probably deserves to go somewhere you're going to play consistently. Need to sort them out. So that's where it starts for me. You know, I would like a 30 right back. Cedric, you know, these sort of things, you know, have to happen. It needs to happen, man. It's a myth, man. Bring him. Big up the Bajans. And good footballers do have egos. You're 100% right in that regards. 100%, 1,000,000% right within that regards. How much money would you say we could bring in? I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. I'm not a transfer man. I don't know for any of that. And it comes down to what you can hustle, you know, because who defines what a player's worth? Someone got 50 million. Someone sold Sigurdsson for 50 million. Someone bought Sigurdsson for 50 million. So it comes down to what you can hustle. Now, if I look at our track record, then we're probably going to get the bare minimum, really. Like, what sort of good outgoings have we done, respectfully, of recent? Not trying to catch us out. Iwobi comes to mind. Joe Willock comes to mind. You're scratching your head past that. You can't really sit there and say, bloody hell, Arsenal sold my man for a change, and they did that. Comes down to what you can hustle. No one, forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm genuinely trying to figure out things. Like, there's none in it. Ox as well, but you have to go even further back than Iwobi and Joe Willock and Ox. We didn't really want to sell Ox. He weren't under contract. I've already said Joe Willock. And then how many haven't we? You know, this is the thing. And then you get little scenarios like Ainsley, Arsenal, we start doing these little Disney Channel things where he's going, he has a good game, he stays, and then we do it again. There was 20, 25 million that Wolves and Everton were crazy enough to bid. That piece was there. I don't know. So yeah, it's one of them ones, really. I'm completely honest. That's me. Yeah, that's calm. But Willock's, I mean, for Walcott's already got one foot out the door them times there, man. And again, that's going a certain point back. Is more recent than Knox. But yeah, I forgot about Nelson. There's actually a lot of man that we need to cash out. And I can't lie, I would badly want to keep Nelson. But yeah, man. Nice guys only get you for, but you can be as nice as you want. You need to be a bit horrible. Like, and the thing is, I do think Arsenal fans and Arsenal club, myself included, we start overcompensating. Nice guy, good for the young squad players, this, that, and the other. Like, we know in our heart certain questions. We let emotions take, man, to different places, man. So yeah, man, very interesting comments. Keep them coming, people. It's one of them ones, really. A fullback that can slot into centre back is in attack is needed. I mean, if you can bring a 30 right back, then Tomiyasu can do up that one. I mean, I would go for a backup keeper, but we bought Matt Ryan. I only say I would go for a backup keeper because I don't know nothing about Matt Ryan. I heard he's played for America. Is he a bandulu? Like, is it a money thing? Is it a marketing thing? Is he actually 30? I don't know, man. Martinez, another profit. Again, exactly. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, Martinez, have to scratch our head for this, but that's my point. We have to scratch our heads. All right, Martinez, Joe Willock. It will be Ox. And bearing in mind, what periods are we talking? We're acting like this is over the last 2 years. We need to have it the same way we can't remember certain man was sold. Look, Liverpool with Solanke, Chelsea have held a couple L's. So Gurley probably too early, but they've had a lot of W's. Whether we rate Eddie and Nketiah or not, we shouldn't be in a position where his thing is running down. Look at now, that's what I like about Balogun. If Balogun shows he's 30, great. If not, there's money to be made. Matt Turner, some American done. I don't know nothing about him. 2 midfielders in the summer. Oof. Well, I mean, if you get me Aouar, Ruiz, Neves, Telemans, yeah, man. Raya would be decent, but that one looks like it's gone. Crazy stuff, man. Hey, big up the Marseille ones, man. It's a defo marketing thingy, in my opinion. Again, I'll give him a chance, but I don't know nothing about him. I've never seen him play. Like, never ever seen him play. So I don't know if he's 30. I mean, what I like about Neves is he'll just do the 5s and 6s, less glamorous but competent and required midfield things, man. I mean, I just want a number 8. I don't know about that. I mean, obviously, I'd put the nimble thing sounds a bit more like Santi, so I'm for that. But if we could get someone, I just want someone that can make that killer pass consistently. Someone that can just, you see, when Ramsdale punches it into the middle, the centre backs don't have to overcompensate. We need that midfielder or midfielders, and tactically, we need more movement in that, man. Yeah, Juventus allegedly won him. Bednarak from Southampton, allow me, bro. DG, do you think we need any fullbacks? And if so, who do you think's the right one? I'd say Aaron Hickney would be one for me on that left-hand side. Do you keep Xhaka? Yeah, I keep Xhaka as part of the squad. I think you're a good rotation option. You're good as part of this thing, but I think Arsenal do this thing where we take players that are not limited. I'm not trying to criticize them, but limited, or they're of a certain level, and then we start trying to. It's like being an intermediate swimmer. You're not good in the deep end. Arsenal will get that swimmer and say, you know what, you're going in the deep end, and we're kind of surprised as to why there's mixed success in that regard. So like I think we do that. In my opinion, like Giroud, he's not a bad player. We tried to make him the 20 league goal man. Lo and behold, he's going on a goal drought. He's wasting Ozil's 6th season, and we're holding L's in it. Nah, man, no new deal for Lacazette, man. If there's a reality where the striker thing isn't working and he's on being a side man as part of the squad, good, but it's a myth now, man. Because he's declining is not a bad thing, but he's clearly declining. As I said, I'll take Gakpo. You can forget about Haaland. Lokonga could go out on loan, but I'd rather keep him be part of the squad than that. Matt Turner has the most penalty saves in the MLS. Well, hopefully we don't make defensive mistakes, so we have to test that out. In it, it's a bit like when Arsenal fans were gassing up the fact that Ramsdale's made the most saves. So if you know, you don't want your keeper in that. While it's great, you don't want him there. If he's there, that means you're not really defending well, are you? You know, a better reflection is clean sheets on the whole defense. Anthony would be wavy. But if Lacazette gets a hat trick, that's amazing, bro. It's not, you're not the guy. Like, respectfully, you're not the Don. Isaac for a certain price. For Isaac to work for me, he would have to do his own part and really burn his bridges at Sociedad. We'd need them to want to sell him. We'd need them to lower the price tag. And that's one that would probably drag out all summer, in my opinion. So, yeah, man, there's that. Really, in my opinion, that's what it would be. Really and truly. Good questions, man. The next summer transfer window will be crucial. Man United and Newcastle won't be resting on their laurels. Top 6 will be congested. And again, let's be real. We've struggled with really one competition and a half fit and a half fit squad, and with one being in one competition. So what the man think it's going to be when there's bare games? West Ham were playing next week. They played today. They're playing on Thursday. When we played City, there was the same logic. When we played Leicester, I think away from home, I could be wrong, but definitely one of them games, the same logic. You know, there's been times where teams have played twice and we've looked at it. And sometimes, again, maybe you decrease the risk of injuries when you have better players and more rotation. And you might not see what happened to, you know, Tierney might be carrying a knock. We don't have to play him through it. Don't know what happened at Scotland, but maybe you don't get that. You know, Thomas Partey, maybe we can be a bit smarter there, you know. Bukayo Saka, I'm sure we all see and hear, you know, he keeps getting little knocks and he's able to play, but you can protect these players and then they can come back fresher and do even more madness and all of these sort of things, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, man. Interesting comments. Appreciate you for subbing. I appreciate that. I would take Koulibaly, but he's got the death row contract. It was very cheeky for Laka to say that he misses Champions League after his goal drought was the reason why we're being held back. As a fan, I agree. As a just looking at the situation, I think he's cheeky, but at least he's got ambition in it. Like, he's got ambition, whether he's a problem or not. He wants ambition. He wants to play in Europe. He's 30, so your footballing career is done soon. You know, you're not gonna have too many years left, and also you're not gonna have too many times being a champ. All the other 5 of the top 6 going to be improving as well. I hope we don't get fourth and then next season go back to our old ways. I hope we don't rest on our laurels. I hope we see it as shit. Like, you know, we was doing mad at the start of the season. We've kind of accelerated the process. While we don't know what other teams are going to do, let's keep it up. Let's not get complacent and think, oh, well, we're ahead of the process and all of that jazz. Like, let's keep going. And I don't doubt Arteta's ambition. To a degree, I do think Edu has a lot of incompetencies, but I do think at times he's crippled with stuff. The owners, I don't think you can blame them for everything because money's been available. Dons have messed things up, but at the same time, there's been different technical directors, different other Dons, 2, 3 different managers if you include Lundberg, 4 if you include Wenger still. What's been one consistency of the last few years? That we're not saying nothing serious or doing nothing serious, really. Hey, G1, where you been hiding? Don't run. Where you been hiding? I thought United was packing Arsenal. Allow it, man. Man Red, get the hell out of here, man. Rudiger was on it, but he's not on it. Are you gonna go live with rants? That's Thursday settings. Would you take Mitchell? Yeah, I would, because he's a steady Eddie. I would love for our academy to produce some steady Eddie Dons that aren't going to be amazing necessarily, but they can be reliable. You know, how much money would it save us if we had I know we've got Brook Norton Coffee, give the man time, but if we had our own version of Walker Peters or James Justin or one of them dons that have come through, it would be good, man. We'd save a lot, wouldn't we? Look how much I'm exaggerating, hell of a lot. But how much money realistically has Trent saved Liverpool? You could be conservative and say 50. In today's day and age, you could probably say 100, really, isn't it? He has to learn a lot, though. That Gavardal good guy is good, but he needs to learn a lot. Get the likes up, people. Man, them denying their clubs. You're denying your club. You're denying your club. Statman Baines is doing follow-only chats. United fans love to give it, but can't take it. You lot are some pussies and rookies. I can't lie, man. You're always talking about hold that. When it's you lot run. Baba boy, don't run. Hey, big up you lot, man. It's all love, man, but you lot are some pum-pums, man. I big up the American Gooner for obviously. Well, last time I checked, it's April, innit? I don't know what Santa Claus is doing, gifting stuff in April, but love for that. Come on. Calvin Phillips allowed to come true. Conor Gallagher, Marseille about to play. I'll record it. Love for reminding me of that one. Oh, it's recording already, so we're watching that. And Lazio AC Milan, yes. Half of dons. Mane acts innocent. I don't care if we sign 2 strikers. If we don't sign a centre mid, we've screwed up big time. You said it there. Man are doing Madrid and that. But Rudiger wants the piece, but Arsenal silly enough, boy. Rudiger will say, oh, I want 260. So we'll say, we'll give you 500. Like, I'm exaggerating, but that's the sort of thing. I take Ben Yedder. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't, boy? 174 likes. Can we keep running that one day up, people? Edu nearly got us Emerson Royal. Yeah, he wanted Emerson Royal and Neto. They might have been an alternate reality where they worked, but boy, based on what we're seeing, every club's got debts, and hopefully Spurs have the most debts, man. Let's just let Brook Norton Coffee develop, man. Just let him develop, bro. Like, he's had half a season at Lincoln. He's doing well. Just let him develop, man. Just let the man play. If Everton go down, I'm on exploring the possibility of Richarlison, but I'm not convinced. I'd rather Gab Jesus, and even Gab Jesus and Richarlison. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, I actually think you're good. Sometimes I think you're a dud. I don't know, man. To be honest, I feel a lot about them with the new Brazilian dons. They always, I don't know if they're 30. I don't know if they're Banduli. Neto would have been bookie, man. Still waiting for the FIFA content. You man are on me. Big up, Em. I hope you're doing well, man. You lot I wouldn't say you smashed Everton. I don't think it was the cleanest ever Liverpool performance, but you got the job done. I would love Guendouzi to stay, but it's not an ability thing. You and Arteta are beefing, so it's a myth. There are rumours Conte's trying to cut out and go to PSG. I respect it. Take Kane with you. I respect it. What are we saying? Pochettino back to the Spuds then, realistically. Maybe a return for Iwobi now, Angie. DG playing FIFA, don't joke with that one. Soon land. Football Manager is difficult enough, man. Stressful enough, which we'll be playing tomorrow at 4:30, I believe. Pardon me. Gab is good, but Arsenal needs a more clinical finisher than him as to compete with the big boys, Liverpool and City. But pardon me, we can't talk to them yet. I know the ambition is to do that, but right now we need to focus on being a consistent top 4 team, being able to consistently beat those around us. We're kind of as poor as United and Chelsea were, and I think our people do that. They big up these teams, we play them, and there's issues. We need to be able to not be amazed by that. Chelsea aren't necessarily amazed when they lose or beat a big team. Liverpool and them man the same. That's what we need to become, a consistent top 4 team. Not even that. Game to game, we need to know what we're seeing from Arsenal. We lost the first. It happens. We lost the first 3 games in this last 5-game period. We've had 3 games where we were terrible. Again, Brighton, Southampton, Palace. We did well, but we've beaten Chelsea and United. You're asking yourself what's going on here, and that's why we're fighting for 4th. Like everyone else, we're inconsistent. Even in them games, we tried to we could have thrown them away. Crazy. It will be horrible. Would you prefer Nkunku over Jesus? I can't lie, I probably would, He goes for the Bandulu ones, man. Will never happen, but is there as a good fit anywhere as Paul Pogba and Arsenal's left midfield 8 would be amazing. Would be amazing, but Arsenal fans would do what some United, the top Reds are doing, man. You think, come on, man. You know how it will get, man. It's Mesut Ozil all over again, bro. Nah, it literally is Mesut Ozil all over again. And to be fair, we need, we've got to remember there's 5 subs next season as well. Other teams are going to have quality depth and be able to affect the game. So we need to be on that sort of stuff as well, man. You're moving mad. I ain't no god, but I appreciate the praise. I'm definitely not no god. That's crazy. Just a normal human, man, that just loves talking football with you. Like that one there is mad, my guy. I appreciate that, though. Don't forget, 10 a.m. on Twitch tomorrow, 11:30 on YouTube, and then 4:30. Content. Do you think Nkunku could turn out a fraud like Werner? I mean, I don't think he will be, but there's always a possibility. And, I always say about 10% Bundesliga tax has to be applied. Probably easy. What do you think? Well, the one game I watched of that Danilo brother against Chelsea, you look too raw for me. You look a bit like you're at the Lokonga stage. So I'm all for it. But yeah, man. He looks like he's not necessarily ready, like very raw. And to be honest, that's the stage we're at. These players might learn quickly and might have to develop, but he looks like he needs to make a bridge, like maybe go to a Shakhtar, go to a lesser team, and then the bigger teams, not just us, teams bigger than us, start looking at you and things. We need depth, but I hope the Edu rumor is not true that he wants only 2 quality players. I think his words got misconstrued. Tonali would be wavy. I hope they bottle it. I know this is a long shot, DG. It can't be any longer than man talking about Pogba and Haaland. So let's see. I know this is a long shot, DG, but do you think if we get top 4, we could get Verratti? 2 years left on his deal. I know I'm reaching. Anything's possible in life, but I think that's impossible. Them man there, you need to get them when they're at, where was he? Pescara or something like that. You need to move for them there. Like once they hit PSG, it's all a myth, man. Really. So yeah, man, it is what it is. One mid and one striker should be enough. Other a solid. Respectfully disagree, man. Yeah, I think he meant 2 marquee signings, and it does make sense. On that note, though, people, can't lie, I'm gonna go eat my dinner. I'm hungry, man. It's been a long day where we've watched Chelsea, West Ham, Liverpool, Everton, and we've spoken now. So I'm going to eat my dinner, man. I can't lie to you lot. One love to you lot who's been supporting across Twitch and YouTube. We go back again tomorrow. We're going to go over the Arsenal United game a bit more in tactical depth. We're going to go over Mikel Arteta's comments. We're going to talk about any Arsenal topics you've got to speak about. And we're also obviously, going to read Mikel Arteta's press conference. Make sure you're following across Twitch and YouTube. Again, you're missing out. One love, P, for subscribing with Amazon Prime. American Gooner. You're just gifting them out, people. Yeah, make sure you're following all the socials. Make sure you're following me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, even TikTok. I need to start putting my videos on there because you lot said you should just be cutting up your clips and doing that. Well, 191 likes as well. If you haven't hit the like button, you know what to do. Again, I'll be back 10 a.m. on Twitch, 11:30 on Twitch and YouTube, 4:30 we're playing FM in it. So, yeah, man, I'm off to have a shower, eat my dinner and chill off, man. On that note, safe.
There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like